Oh, what's happening, my people? Welcome, 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 welcome to the place where I say use your mind. Don't lose your mind. Don't get left behind. Become a mind. We family over here. Y'all know what it is. Y'all tuned into Mind of Major, where we don't need no freaking guest stars. Because I'm the one-man show. Only guest stars we need are my family members who happen to tune in. So, whenever you feel the need to tap in, I'm sorry I'm late, y'all, but I had a little trouble with the app today. And I keep saying I gotta call this cable company to see what's going on with the bandwidth. Because for some reason, it's like I be glitching. And it's not supposed to be doing that. I'm supposed to be able to run 100 different devices from where I am. And all of them should stream the same. So they say. So, with that being said, look at the waves on that boy's head. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Look at that. So icy. So icy. Tell me I ain't got no 360 going on. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. Whatever, people. I'm going to see if I can get a few people in the room before we get into our usual. If anybody jumps in the room and you got something that you want to talk about before we get into what it is we normally do around here, feel free. Feel free. And if no one pops in, I really wouldn't be offended, because today people may have other things going on. Today is actually what they call Good Friday. Some call it Easter Friday. It's part of the Passover weekend. You know, the whole resurrection thing with Jesus Christ. Actually, the day would be... Well, actually, how would that go? Because they say Jesus rose on the third day, which is Easter. So, if he rose on the third day, then that meant that he was killed on a Thursday, right? So he would have laid in rest from Thursday to Friday, Friday to Saturday, and then Saturday into Sunday when he rose again. Right? So I guess Jesus was crucified on a Thursday. So where do we get Good Friday from? So where is Good Friday coming from? Is it a day that they say, or was that the day that they actually funeralized Jesus? You know what I mean? Pretty much had his, ceremony or arrangements done or whatever on that actual Friday. Is that where the whole Good Friday thing comes from? If anybody happens to know, feel free to enlighten me. That's what we do around here. We share information, you know. I share as much information as I can with you guys, and I would hope that you would feel free to share with me as well, because I don't know everything. I don't know everything. I try to gather as much information as I can, but I know nowhere near everything. And that's something that I didn't actually try to look into myself. I know a little bit about the so-called holiday. I think I pretty much got the gist of the holiday. But you have a lot of people that don't even know the first thing about Easter. Because this holiday, just like the rest of them, has been commercialized. You know, by the capitalist system we live in. You know, it turns it into a day where they make you feel like it's a day where you're supposed to go and spend money and, you know, I mean, they just totally change it to a day where as though they could suck money out of your pocket and put money back into the economy. When that has, what their meaning has nothing to do with the actual meaning of Easter, you know? And I think that people should, even if you subscribe to that whole spend money stuff on Easter or whatever, I think that you should still teach your children, you know, the real meaning of the actual holiday. As you ask the average child about Easter, and they'll tell you about Easter bunny. They get new clothes. Some go to kiddie discos. But the average one wouldn't tell you anything about Jesus Christ, nor him waking from the dead, him being resurrected. And this is not because they don't want to. Mm-mm. It's merely because they don't know. I'm still working out the kinks to this thing, y'all. So if the live, I don't know how it came up. I don't know how the live thing came up, the screen or whatever came up for this live. But if it came up as the one I had up yesterday for the Throwback Thursday, I apologize. I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out. I'll get it together one day. Sorry for not putting a notification out like I did yesterday. Sorry for coming on late today. I know I say 8 o'clock every day, but things tend to happen. And I was rushing back, trying to rush back as quick as I could possibly get here. I was going to see if anybody actually was going to enter the room. So while I wait, and run my mouth, I'll get my little food shot in. And once I finish this, I'll jump right into today's reading. I don't know what I'm doing. What I need to do is make up a thumbnail for each day of the week that I can throw in there when I do the notification thing, and do that maybe an hour or two before I actually go live. I'm actually eating my leftover shrimps and rice from yesterday. I actually ordered shrimp and broccoli with fried rice, and for some reason when I got it, only thing I ate was broccoli and rice out of it. I think I may have ate maybe 2 shrimps. I think I ate maybe 2 shrimps at the most. I just ate all the broccoli out of it. So what I had left, I stuck in the refrigerator. And I'm eating it now. While wifey is, she got to it late. Well, she was cooking crab soup. And that's actually why I was late going live. Because I was out actually trying to find minestrone soup. Or either a vegetable soup for the crab soup. To no avail. And with that being said, we had to go a totally different route. You know, we was trying to get the canned minestrone because that basically has all the ingredients that you would find in crab soup. It's a good base for crab soup. But like I said, being though I couldn't find it, we had to do our own thing. A couple cans of different sorted vegetables, tomato sauce, a little seasoning, I got it turning out fairly well. Cause wifey got skills in the kitchen. Let me tell you guys something that I found out, and it was extremely hilarious. If you happen to follow my channel, you'll see from time to time in my comment section, may fall under a different name, as if somebody left a comment, but there'll be like a time stamp, you know, like the numbers for, like, you know, 18 seconds, 45 seconds, something like that, as if a certain event happened at that point in the video. But it'll always have something on there along with a name. So yesterday, just out of curiosity's sake, I wanted to see if this is a bot or something. So I typed in the something. I'm not going to go into what it actually was. The something dot something. And a freaking sex website came up, right? A sex website came up, right? So I ended up backing out of it. And then I went back on YouTube and pulled the name that was attached to the comment up on YouTube. And the name was actually a person that I guess at one time uploaded videos themselves. And this was an actual, I guess, church-going person, because it looked like she posted videos of a choir singing or her singing on the choir. So I know that this person didn't actually send something in my comments connected to a sex site. You know what I mean? That's highly unlikely. But as I strolled down through the videos that were there when, you know what I mean, when I went to her page or whatever, guess who else video I saw there? My video was in that, search region. So I say, oh, maybe that's a gift and a curse. So every time I see one of those things pop up in my comments, I'm not going to hit it or anything, but I guess that means that my actual video will turn up, you know what I mean, close to where that whoever name is attached to the comment, my video would be somewhere near their videos if you go by like that, the search engine or whatever, using that search engine, or using just using YouTube. If you was to pull their page up, my video would be like somewhere in the midst of their videos or whatever. So man, I said maybe it's just placing my video somewhere, you know what I mean, that where somebody maybe see it. You understand? But whatever. I found it kind of funny. Especially when the sex site joint pop up. I was like, what the hell? But it do leave me wondering, is it being done by somebody trying to help my channel or hurt it? Because if somebody else was to search that stuff the way I did and a sex site pop up, they could very well become offended. You dig what I'm saying? But we're not gonna do this all night. But I'm gonna read the next story in the book, poem or whatever. As soon as I finish knocking this off real quick. Jesus, that boy is without hairline. Indeed. It's like, I mean, I got a hairline. It's just kind of thin. But I got a head full of slick, wavy hair, you hear me? I ain't gonna say a head full, but what's left in my head is slick, wavy, you hear me? It's slick, wavy, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Try to tell me I don't have no 360 going on. Do you see this? Yes. Yes. You see it. All right. All right. Now we about to get into what we do around here. Part of what we do around here. So, what is this? Oh, this was a good one. This was a good one. This is really a good one. Wow, I wish I had some people actually in the chat right now, but I know people that be rocking with me. They usually watch it on the replay anyway. Excuse me. But this is a really good one. I remember this one. Excuse me. This is a really good one. It's called Wrath of God. Wrath of God. And as you guys can see, it's indeed written by me. This one was written October the 8th, 2007. I gotta get into this one because I remember this one. This is a real good one. And before I do, and this what I say, as time has passed, there have been events that happen that I can directly correlate to stories or poems that actually were in this book. You understand what I'm saying? And when I read this actual short story, I'm going to explain what happened after that. You know what I mean? Some years after that. You know what I mean? That could be a direct correlation of what I wrote. You know, and when I let someone actually read it before, and they were so into it that they was like, you saw that somewhere, didn't you? And I was like, huh? And they was like, you saw that, as if I saw it in a movie or something, right? As if I saw it in a movie in some type of way, just wrote about it, you know. And I was like, no, this is something personal that came from my head, you know what I mean? But 1 second and I'm gonna get into it. If you're a smoker, you understand. Most people that smoke get their cigarette in after they done had a meal or whatever, or they've eaten something. I hate when my t-shirt be sitting all improper, but then I still have this contraption on where it's pulling on the shirt sometimes or whatever, depending on how I'm sitting. But let's get into this. Oh, I wish I had some in my house. Give me 1 second. Let me skim it real quick, so my reading don't be, you know. Check this out, right? Like I said before, this is called Wrath of God. It's written by me on October the 8th, 2007. I'm awakened by the loudest noise I've ever heard before in my life. It sounded like thunder, but not quite, but deafening nonetheless. Scared half to death, I'm drawn to the window like a kid watching winter's first snowfall. All of the street lights blinked violently as if one flicker away from being blown. Suddenly my attention is redirected to what looks like millions of fireballs falling to earth. Within seconds, everything for miles is ablaze. Not to mention explosion after explosion. Before I could call out to my girlfriend for her to witness what was going on, there was a blinding light. Holding my hand in front of my face to shield the glow, I peeked to get a glimpse of what's happening. I'm taken back by what I saw. There stood a figure of a man. Where there was supposed to be a face and hands, there was only light. A voice spoke. This is what's to come if my word is not obeyed. I cried out, Lord, I'm not ready to go yet. The next thing I heard was my girlfriend saying, what do you see? I came to, standing in front of the window with my girlfriend saying, what do you see? I replied, the wrath of God. Now, let me go into this, right? I'm gonna just say sometimes I have like very, very vivid dreams to the point I'm quite sure there's other people who have dreams sometimes where as though they're so vivid that they seem real. It's like you're not even asleep. You understand? And this was something like I dreamt. That I actually dreamt. But it just seemed so real that I woke up out of the dream. When I woke up out of the dream, I was kind of shaken to the point where I didn't want to go right back to sleep. You know what I mean? I'm not even going to front. I was scared to go right back to sleep. That's how real the dream actually felt. You understand? But when I say there was a direct correlation in real time to this actual story, but it was years later. I don't know if any of you remember where some years ago, but it was definitely after 2007 when they got the media shower, when they had this big old media shower over, what was that, Russia or something? And one media, I don't know if it was one or if it was more, actually didn't break up, didn't burn up all the way when coming into the atmosphere, and it came in, it made its way into our atmosphere or whatever, and that big explosion that ended up breaking a bunch of windows and stuff in Russia. Was it Russia? It was Russia. And you had people that were standing there recording it because of that. It was like, just like I said, fireballs falling from the sky. This is what it looked like. It looked like fireballs falling from the sky. Whereas though people were actually amazed by it and were actually some people were actually recording it until one made its way into the atmosphere so far and actually blew up, exploded, shattering windows for miles and miles around, you know? Whoa, what's going on, Doug? Happy Friday to you as well, bro. And this is what I'm talking about. How some of the things that I write, even though they were coming from my head, they happened, you know, maybe not exactly the same way, but close enough, you know, close enough to pretty much what it is I actually saw. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, there are a host of different things in this book that have actually come to pass since I actually put those words on these pages. There's a lot of stuff within this book that actually came to pass. But I say, well, maybe people can get a glimpse of it. I mean, you can Google anything. You can Google anything. So take a second and Google media over Russia. And you can see it for yourself. You know what I mean? And then you can get a better idea of what it is I was talking about, you know? But instead of me watching it through the lens of someone else's camera, here I was watching it from the window of my bedroom. You understand what I'm saying? But that was the selection from today. That was the actual selection from the day. And I mean, a lot of these first entries from the book, wow, there's a lot of deep ones. There are a whole host of deep ones in the beginning of the book. I mean, the book is just, the next one is entitled Count Your Blessings. And we'll be reading that tomorrow. We'll be actually reading that one tomorrow. But I just want to, I want to actually stay on the subject of this actual story for a second. Because just the title, Wrath of God, especially with this being Passover weekend or whatever, Easter being Sunday, this being Good Friday or whatever, and you talking about the death of Christ or whatever, and the wrath of God. Anybody that's familiar with the Bible, and they speak of revelations and the last days and so on and so forth, and all these signs that, that people will be getting when we're in our last days. And if you been into the Bible, if you're into the Bible, then you can see a whole host of signs. You can see a whole host of signs. But I don't think that it's going to actually end before I leave here, or anybody that may be watching this live leaves here. I think there's at least another 100 to 150 years on the clock. But after that, I don't know what's left. I know if anybody is religious, you got to think or look at it, what's happening, and say to yourself that God can't possibly be happy. I mean, we're so screwed up that we can't even take care of the place in which we live. You know what I mean? We're so stupid that we actually destroy the planet on which we live. Can clearly see that the planet is suffering from global warming, and that if it doesn't slow down or whatever, that water levels are going to continue to get higher and higher, and the higher and higher the water levels get, the storms and everything like that are going to be worse, and there's going to be all types of weather that we haven't been used to seeing. They had a freaking snowstorm in Texas. In Texas, of all places, they had a snowstorm in freaking Texas. Come on now, what more do you need? I mean, the last couple years, it done snowed in sure enough southern states that don't get snow. You know what I mean? It done snowed for real. You know what I mean? So if you that screwed up, well, we're that screwed up, that we just try to convince ourselves that, oh no, it was just something that happened. It has nothing to do with this, that, or the third. Because of money, You know what I mean? Because of money, capitalism, and oh no, if we do this, you know what I mean, we do that, we can't capitalize off of it. Well, capitalizing off of it is not going to do you any good if you kill the planet in the process. You understand what I'm saying? That's just like you standing in your house and setting it on fire while you're in it. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we're doing to basically, that's what's happening to the planet. We're setting the planet on fire while we're standing in the midst of it. But I'm not going to dwell on that. That's just one of the things I tend to think about sometimes. Like, and then they have scientists and stuff like that, and they talk about all these Earth-like planets, and you know what I mean? But then they say that we can't get there, that they thousands of light years away, and this, that, and the third. But if they're thousands of light years away, but you can see them, you can clearly pull them up on a telescope or something, and you can give the people an image. Oh, it's just the way, this is a projected image that we came up with due to the way that the sun, its sun bounces off of the, you know what I mean? Come on, miss me with that. You know what I mean? Miss me with that. If you ask me, well, hey, what else I got to talk about? You know what I mean? This is the mind of Major. This is Mind of Major. So I'm gonna give you all a little of Major's mind. You know what I mean? Now, like I say, and you don't have to, you know what I mean? You don't have to take my word for anything. Most of the stuff I'm gonna tell you is you're able to research it and look for yourself, and make your own decision. But it's just like I say, I think I'm not even going to go into the pandemic thing tonight, but NASA sent up what they call a space plane. It looks like the old space shuttles, but I guess it's smaller. And they sent it up a few years ago, but they happen to have brought it back. What was it, November of 19? Exact same time when the pandemic started, they brought it back. And they said that this space plane was orbiting the Earth for 2 years, right? They said they had this space plane orbiting the Earth for 2 years. It's an unmanned plane. It's an unmanned space plane. It's solar powered, right? Now they're not saying, they never say what, what it was up there doing, what it was up there circling the planet for. But I'm just baffled because scientists can, all these telescopes and stuff, and they can look out and tell you about a planet that's all the way out there, but nobody say, well, it's something unusual orbiting the Earth. Oh, that's a space plane from NASA. Nobody saw it in that 2 years. You never heard of it going up when it went up. It went up secretly. You know what I mean? So, me myself, I doubt it very seriously if that so-called space plane was actually orbiting the Earth for 2 years, as they say. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. You understand what I'm saying? And you have something that's solar powered and it don't have to be refueled or anything like that. You mean you just circled the Earth for 2 whole years? No. Mm-mm. Me, myself, I believe they sent it somewhere. I believe they sent it somewhere and they brought it back. This is what I believe. I believe they sent it somewhere. Where they sent it, I have no idea. But then they brought it back. You understand? Now, it could have been to scout out another planet. It might have been orbiting a planet, but it wasn't orbiting this planet. You know what I mean? It could have very well been orbiting a planet. You understand what I'm saying? Because I say eventually, when this planet is no longer inhabitable, what do you think's going to happen? Those with those billions of dollars and stuff like that, they're going to be the ones that get the seats. You know what I mean? Oh, we got Earth 2.0 over here. But the cost to go is such and such $1 million per person. You know what I mean? You got to be a billionaire. You know what I mean? But then you're going to give up all your money to go to this place and basically attempt to start over. You understand what I'm saying? Broke because you didn't gave it to these people to get you there. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I actually think about. But then again, I actually fall back a lot of the times. You know what I mean? Instead of, I don't know. But like I said, those are my thoughts as far as that goes. I mean, you guys have a voice as well. You guys have a voice as well. What do you? How do you feel about it? You know what I mean? That's crazy. The wrath of God. I wonder how many people actually seriously believe that there's actually a higher power. Someone that actually dictates your existence. You know? Other than myself. Because I'm not super spiritual, but I'm indeed a big believer. I'm a real big believer. And while I was out and I was on my way home from the store trying to get back to the house to get on live or whatever by 8 or whatever, even though I didn't make it, you know, I was thinking about something, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I go back to the hole that's in my headrest, right? I go back to the hole that's in my headrest. And I seriously think about it, and people ask me, why you ain't get that fixed yet? Why you didn't get that fixed yet? But I tell them, I leave it there as a reminder. You know what I mean? I leave it there as a reminder. 'Cause now I gotta get in there. I gotta get in the car every day. I had to get in that car, and I have to see that hole. I had to see that hole right there where my head is. You know what I mean? And it makes me think. You know what I mean? It helps me to realize that just how quick, you know what I mean, it can all be over. It can all be over just like that. You know what I mean? Snap of a finger. It can all be over. You know what I mean? And you didn't have to be doing anything. You know what I mean? You didn't have to be doing anything. And it just be over. Boom. Just like that. Because had I been sitting there in the way that the hole is positioned, you know, I'm quite sure, you know what I mean? I'm quite sure that, you know, I need the back of my head. You know what I mean? Because you talking about something entering the front and the exit is always bigger than the entry. You understand what I'm saying? So, no, that wouldn't have been good at all. But then it wasn't even, you know what I mean? It wasn't even meant for you. That's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? That's kind of crazy. But like I say, I take that as like a sign, you know? Like you better start being mindful, you know what I mean? You better start being mindful, you know what I mean, of what it is you supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Because I've been in so many situations. You know what I mean? During my lifetime, I've been in so many situations where, you know, where the lights could have went out. You know what I mean? I'm going to just say that. I've been in so many situations where the lights could have went out. But then it's, you know what I mean? It's like for some reason, you know what I mean? I just constantly got spared, and a lot of times it bothered me because I didn't know why, and I felt like, man, there's a lot of people that are not here now that were way better people. Way better people. I would consider that they were way better people than I was. You understand? Just based on some of the things that I've done, that I have, and you know what I mean, indulged in, and you understand what I'm saying? But then I the more I thought about it, I say, well, maybe it's, you know, it's like a sign that, you know, your work ain't done yet. You know, your work ain't done yet. You haven't fulfilled, you know what I mean? You basically got work to do, pretty much, right? But I don't know exactly what that work is. You know what I mean? I try to be on some positive. I try to be on some positive type stuff, whereas though I'm always, I'm gonna say I'm always trying to be in a space, you know what I mean? A space where as though I can assist somebody in some way, shape, or form. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care if it's just, you know, running to the store, helping somebody out with some change or whatever. Whatever, you know. You got to be willing, you have to be willing to help the next person. You have to. You have to be willing to help the next person. Because people, so often, people will look at the next person in judgment. You know what I mean? will look at the next person in judgment, you know, and will look down their nose at this person as if they're the worst person in the world. You know what I mean? Not realizing that you don't know this person's story. You know what I mean? You don't know the first thing about this person's story. And to be totally honest, man, it could, like I say, things can happen like that. Things can happen like that. You know what I mean? Your total life, your total entire life can change just like that. One day you can have it going on. You know what I mean? One day you can have it sure enough going on. Hey, you got the car, you got the house, you got money, you got the job. But then it seemed like just like that, all of it's just gone. Just take for instance, just like I say, a person that got everything that I just called out, right? And you have had this happen. This has happened before. You know, a person have everything I just called out, but let's say they had a drinking problem, right? They like to drink, and then, you know, oh, I'm good, I can drive. Then they get on the road and end up killing a car full of people. You know what I mean? End up killing a car full of people. You know, and this is not a bad person. This is not a bad person in nature, but just one irrational decision, you know what I mean, changed the rest of their life. Just like that. You know? Just totally destroyed the rest of their life. Not just their life, but the lives of other people as well. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. You could have, you know what I mean? And you can use different scenarios and end up with the same, you know what I mean? The same thing with so many different scenarios. You know? Like I say, you have all that stuff and no, you think, oh, I'm good. Then all of a sudden, one freak accident cause you to lose your job. Boom. Your job gone first. Boom. Now you can't pay your bills. Now I mean you gotta decide whether or not you're gonna pay this bill or you're gonna pay this bill. You know what I mean? Then now you robbing from Peter to pay Paul. You know what I mean? And then eventually everything is just screwed up. Next thing you know, you're freaking homeless. You know what I mean? You're freaking homeless. Just like that. Just like that. So when you see that person, when somebody see that person in the street, yeah, you got some people that try to prey on people, that stand out there and they ask for money and stuff like that, and they go around the corner and buy narcotics and stuff like that. But then again, you have the real ones, you know what I mean, that don't even really ask anybody for nothing like that. You know what I mean? But are just straight down on their luck. Just down on their luck. And then to have somebody look down their nose at them and treat them as if they're nothing. You never know somebody else's story. You know what I mean? You never know. That's why a lot of times I'll talk to people, you know what I mean? I'll engage them in conversation. People that I don't even know. You know what I mean? If I give you $1 or whatever, I might ask you just simply what your name is. You know what I mean? What's your name? Oh, my name's C. You know what I mean? What's your name? You know what I mean? That way, the next time I see you, I can address you by your name. You know what I mean? I don't have to say, hey, yo, main man. You know what I mean? I can make you feel equal to me simply by calling you by your name. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking past you. You know? And it's another reason why you should never look at a person, you know what I mean, that might be down, because just like I say, things can happen like this. That person can be that way one day, and a week from now, 1 week from now, they be in a position where as though they never had to worry about anything again in their life. That's how the world works sometimes. This is how the world works sometimes. You think, just imagine, you know what I mean? Just imagine somebody, this person sitting outside this convenience store, whatever, and they asking for change all day long, or whatever. The people that frequent this spot, it's going to be, a lot of them will become familiar with this person, and when they come through, you know what I mean, they'll get a person change or whatever, because they have become to, you know what I mean, know this person. Now just say you got a big jackpot, you know what I mean, Mega Million or something like that, and one of these people that frequent this spot and actually speak to this homeless person who's usually outside of this spot, decides, oh, give me an extra Mega Million ticket, and gives it to the homeless person, right? Instead of keeping the ticket, they get a ticket to the homeless person, right? And the homeless person end up with the winning ticket. The homeless person ends up with the freaking winning ticket. See, and I think about stuff like that, and I've actually seen it happen before. I've actually seen people so down on their luck, you know what I mean? And then just seem like overnight, they end up being a totally different person, you know what I mean? And end up having it going on just like that. You know, bounce back is major, you know what I mean? That bounce back game just be super major. You know what I mean? So you never, ever, you know what I mean? Just because somebody is one way one day doesn't mean that they have to be like that forever. That they had to be that same way the next day, nor the day after that. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't get it. It's crazy how a lot of people don't get it. Just mere chance encounters. Mere chance encounters. I wish more people got it, man. I really wish more people got it. Because that works, you know what I mean? That goes for so many different situations. That whole thing can be applied in so many different situations. You know what I mean? It can apply to an average person that's in the street hustling. You know what I mean? Because he has a story. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And you never know. If you don't take the time to actually sit and conversate with a person, well, you don't have to actually sit. You can stand if you so choose. But if you don't take the time to conversate with a person and man, I don't know. I'm saying I've known people that were actual, what one would call straight up drug addicts. You know what I mean? Or no, I'm gonna just take it a step further, but I don't even like to use this actual word. I don't even like to use the word junkie. You know what I mean? I don't like that word. You know what I mean? But you had people, I know somebody that one would call that. You know what I mean? And like I actually say there are different stages. You know, there are different levels to, you know what I mean, using or whatever. But I know somebody that was pretty much all the way, you know what I mean? One would think all the way gone. You know what I mean? Shit. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, they cleaned up. And the average person would see this person and would be straight, you know what I mean? And would be straight whacked out of their mind. You know what I mean? They wouldn't even expect for this person to have been where they'd been. You know what I mean? Just by looking at them. You know what I mean? In their, you know what I mean? In their present state. I've seen it. I've actually seen it, that a person don't have to be, you know what I mean, the same person they were yesterday. Not 5-10 years ago, but yesterday. Because just like I say, life can change just like that. Life has the ability to change just like that. And it's truth. And it's truth. It's 100% true. You know what I mean? It's 100% true. Man, I hate getting into deep subject matter, because then I'd be like trapped inside of my own head. You know what I mean? I hate being trapped inside of my own head, because then my thoughts, I mean, be so much stuff bouncing from one side of my head to the other, and I be having so much going on in my head, thinking about different stuff. You know what I mean? I can't really I can't really explain it. I can't really explain it. Then especially doing this, you know, because I be wanting, I be so passionate about what it is I'm saying a lot of the time. Well, most of the time, you know what I mean? I be so passionate about what I'm saying, and I know that there are people out there that actually know me, that actually say, you know what I mean, that continue to say negative stuff. That will continue to say negative stuff no matter, you know what I mean, how much positive stuff I try to do. There's always going to be those who come behind looking. What are you gonna do, man? They be so obsessed. They be so obsessed with seeing you in a negative light that when you start shining and stepping into your real purpose, the mere fact that they know that your greatness far exceeds theirs. You know what I mean? That they can't handle it. So they would much rather you stay being viewed in a negative light. You know what I mean? As opposed to you merely just growing. You know what I mean? I used to trip off of it. A lot of the times it used to really get to me. Because I'm not the type of person, you know what I mean? I'm the type of person that really don't, I could care less what the next person say. You know what I mean? Because the person that's talking about me, I couldn't get $2 from to get a bottle of water if I was dying of thirst. You understand what I'm saying? So why would anything that comes out of their mouth, you know what I mean? Why would I value it? You understand what I'm saying? Why would it hold any value for me? You know, I had people say things, you know, oh, I saw him and he was in the car and he was this, that, and the third. But you didn't come to the car and tap on the window and say, oh, is you okay? You know what I'm saying? But you saw this. You know what I mean? This is what you claimed you saw, but it wasn't in you to nearly tap on the window, you know what I mean, and say, you good? You know what I mean? This is the craziness, you know what I mean? I don't want you to be, the whole thing is, I don't want you to be good. You know what I mean? The whole thing is, I don't want you to be good. I want you to be messed up. So then therefore, I could talk about you. I could talk about you and take my mind off of how screwed up my situation is. You understand what I'm saying? Then I don't have to, as long as your situation, I can speak on your situation, you know what I mean? And hold your situation in a negative light. It makes me feel far better about the negative situation that I'm in. The whole misery loves company thing, it is indeed true. It is so true. You understand what I'm saying? So I always had that attitude. I pretty much always had that attitude, as opposed, you know what I mean? That, yeah, there are some people that who feel, put like, there are some people whose feelings I take into consideration as far as things that I might do. But for the most part, I could care less about somebody in the street talking stuff about me or whatever. But like it goes, I'm going to bring it back to what I was originally talking about. So when they see me doing what I'm doing right here, you know what I'm saying? before they would even click on and see what it is I'm talking about, they'll have something negative to say. I ain't gonna look at that. He ain't talking about nothing. What the hell? What is he talking about? He ain't talking about nothing. But you ain't even click. You didn't even press play. You didn't even press play. But I'm not talking about nothing. You know what I mean? How the hell do you know I'm not talking about nothing if you didn't even press play? You understand what I'm saying? I could have came in here and gave you the freaking cure to whatever ails you. You know what I mean? But you wouldn't know because you so wrapped up in not wanting me to exceed my negativity. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? I tell you why it is. Because when you have an inner light, you know what I mean? Greatness shines so bright, man. Greatness shines so bright. And people can see it in you. Especially when you have a certain type of greatness, it's going to shine through regardless of all the negative stuff that you may have done, that you may be doing. If you have true greatness in you, that shit is going to shine through regardless. It's going to shine through regardless. Whether or not, you know what I mean? Because sometimes our lives are not ours. Our lives are not ours. Sometimes we don't live for ourselves. You know what I mean? Sometimes we are not living for ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times we're living for someone else. You know, we're not here to benefit. A lot of us are not here to benefit. You know what I mean? For our own benefit. We're here for the benefit of others. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be millionaires and billionaires. Some of us gotta shovel shit. You know what I mean? Some of us gotta be here to shovel shit. You understand what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. But then you got people, you know what I mean? You got people that's so, I see it every day. With people just so unhappy, just so fucking, I'm sorry for speaking French like that, but people would be so freaking unhappy with their own existence. But rather than change their existence, change what they have going on, they'll take all their time and energy and try to make somebody else seem less than them. How the hell can somebody who can't maintain a relationship, how the hell can somebody that can't maintain a healthy relationship of their own give somebody else relationship advice? How the hell does that work? How does that work? Somebody that's not good with paying bills, you know what I mean, with managing money, try to tell somebody else what they should do, you know what I mean, with their money. How does that work? Man, that's just a few examples. You understand what I'm saying? That's just a few examples. And you look at, just for instance, you know what I'm saying? This is something I do, right? This is something I do. And I say, well, maybe somebody will get something out of what I say, and it might help them. You know what I mean? Somebody will take something I say, and it might help them. But even if don't nobody get no help out of it, it's something that I'm doing for me. As well as trying to help other people, I'm doing this for me. Because me being here in front of this freaking phone, talking on live, you understand what I'm saying? If I'm here, that means I'm not doing this, that, or the third. So that alone, you know, deserves an actual pat on the back. But don't nobody want to see that. You know what I mean? Don't nobody want to see that. Everybody wants to witness the train wreck. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to witness the train wreck. You understand what I'm saying? A person succeeding isn't exciting. Exceeding isn't exciting. Everybody wants to see a train wreck. You understand what I'm saying? And that is some of the most sadistic shit ever. That people just sit around and wait for bad shit to happen. You know what I mean? Just sit around and wait for bad shit to happen to people. But somebody can be giving you something beneficial, but you'll skip right past that looking for the bad shit. What's this? Something educational? What? Let me teach you how to make $10,000 in your spare time. Fuck out of here. Where that video where the guy got shot, where the guy shot the other guy. What the fuck? That's how that's how fucked up we are as people. So how do we keep this up for another million years? How do we keep this up for 1,000,000 years? It doesn't happen. It don't happen. It doesn't happen. But I have people that know I do this. And I'm not even, I don't even have 200 family members on here. But I know, you know, I know when some people, you know, see my videos or whatever, I know deep down inside, you know what I mean, they be saying to themselves, they hope my joint don't grow no more. You know what I mean? They sit there and inside hope that it don't take off. You know what I mean? Just on some hater shit. You know what I mean? And I say, really, maybe I'm fine with that. Because I know when money comes into play, when money always has a way of messing up something that started out with good intentions. Once the money come into play, the whole thing just gets screwed over. So now because you end up not having those same intentions. Now your intentions become, damn, what I gotta do next to make sure, you know what I mean, I'm generating the same amount of, you know what I mean? Now you can't even focus on the task at hand because you worrying about money. And I gotta go to freaking work in the morning. I gotta work this weekend. But I be just needing a vent sometimes. Sometimes I be just having to vent because I don't get it. Sometimes I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I can actually be trying to give somebody a jewel. I be trying to, you know what I mean? When you trying, what do you do when you trying to give somebody a jewel, but they want you to crawl on your belly and draw a line in the dirt with your tongue, you know what I mean? Before they accept it. You know what I mean? That's crazy. If somebody's trying to give you, you know what I mean? That's crazy. That's crazy. What do we do? What do we do? You know? Now if I came on this joint, and trust and believe, I am so content with the few people that come into my life and stuff like that, here and there, and say little stuff and stick around and actually watch my live or whatever. I'm so content because I know that they not here for the bullshit. They really here fucking with me. You understand what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to come on here and talk about, you know what I mean, goofy shit, what I call goofy shit. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to go on here and talk goofy shit. You know what I mean? I said that I want to keep my shit positive. I want to talk about positive stuff. Give a positive message. I shouldn't have to come on here and talk about negative stuff to try to it's so sad sometimes. It's just it's just so fucking sad that people are just, you know, when people are just blatantly, oh, I ain't got 2 words for you if you can't, you know what I mean? If I can't use you, if you can't be of use to me, I ain't got 2 words for you. And the only time I'ma fuck with you is when I need you to do something. What? What? Seriously sad. Seriously sad. I could tell you right now, if I started doing certain stuff, right, and I said to myself, you know, if I wanted to have, let's say, 1,000 subscribers, right? Let's say that, because I don't just throw my channel at everybody. You know what I mean? Just be out and about. Excuse me. I don't just be out and about throwing my channel at anybody. You know what I mean? But anybody I bump into, I could say, let me see your phone, and put my damn channel on their phone. You know what I mean? Everybody. If I wanted anybody on my wish, I try to grow something, you know what I mean, organically, because I don't want people on my, if I'm doing something and I'm trying to do it a certain way, I don't want certain people don't get it, man. And it's so, it becomes downright fucking depressing. Because I know, just say next week, right? Just say next week. If I did something on this damn live, or just say somebody just popped out of nowhere and seen my live and posted this shit somewhere, and just out of no fucking where, the next day I end up and I got fucking 20,000 goddamn subscribers on my page, right? Now the motherfucking shit is automatically lit. And when I come on the motherfucker now, I ain't even basically got to do shit but just stare at a motherfucker. You know what I mean? And people gonna talk, and the only thing I gotta do is respond to the people in the damn chat and not pass on another message or nothing. And could probably generate fucking income in no time. You think if I started making money off of this shit, you would see so many goddamn people named, they'd probably be using their motherfucking government names. They'd be using their goddamn government names coming in the goddamn chat. Now, I mean, if they knew the shit was popping off like that, but when you grinding your way, or you trying to grind or something, or trying to pass on a message, you know what I mean? Shit, a motherfucker put your shit on their phone and don't never go on the motherfucker. That's just like I did I be going off the rails sometimes, but it's all good. That's just like about a week or two ago, I went on Facebook Live. Put a title in, what do y'all want from me? Just to see, because it looked like it was going to be, the title may have led you to think that, you know what I mean? Oh, what is they talking about? Oh, it's about to go down. You know what I mean? When the whole time I was just sitting there and seeing who was going to actually pop into the fucking live. But then I had so many people that popped in that motherfucker, you know what I mean, that I knew, you know what I mean? But just as soon as they popped in, they popped right back out. Because I wasn't talking about nothing negative. Because there wasn't nothing negative going on. They popped right the fuck back out. You know what I mean? And that's just like I say, if it ain't negative, a motherfucker don't want no parts of it. So what? Why is that though? Why is that though? You can ask somebody, what you learned today? What did you learn today? What? What you talking about? What did you learn today? But I don't know what you talking about. What the hell is this? It's self-explanatory. What did you learn today? Nothing. Nothing. Only thing I'm saying, we got to do better. You know what I mean? We got to do way better. We got to stop with the phony fake shit. You know what I mean? We got to stop with the phoniness. You know what I mean? We got to get our acts together. And I want to say this because, Lord have mercy, please. If I got to say this, right? And, that shit just ate me up. I was out and about today and I had to stop and go into a store to get something, right? Before I came home. And I'm in the car and I'm sitting there waiting for the song that I had on playing to go off before I got out the car. So I had the window rolled finished smoking my cigarette. And so the music was loud or whatever, and this little girl was walking down the street and shit. And she was getting into the music and shit. I guess she was looking at me and shit because I was all animated and whatnot. You know what I mean? Fucking with my music. So I gotta stop cussing so much because then I'm gonna end up, even if I do get 1,000 family members or whatever, I'm gonna have to take all my daggone videos down because I'm cussing too much in them. Right? But the little girl ended up walking off the curb into the street between my car and the car that was in front of me, but she's about to walk into traffic. And I gotta shout, and it's crazy because the person that she was walking with two older people. You know what I mean? I guess it was her mother and her grandmother, or maybe, it was two older people, right? But one was like 2 car lengths in front of her. The older lady that looked like it might have been the grandmother was like 2 whole car lengths in front of this little girl. And the other one was like maybe a car length. You know what I mean? But if I didn't scream and say, get that little girl. You know what I mean? That's when she turned around and noticed the little girl wasn't behind her. You know what I mean? And she said, come here. And the little girl turned around and went. And the first thing she did was cock her hand back like she getting ready. You would have thought that was my damn child. You would have thought that was my child. Because I screamed out my window, you bet not hit her. You bet not have hit her. If your motherfucking, if you had just stupid blah, blah, blah back there with her, she wouldn't have been able to walk in the street. How the heck do you watch a child if you all the way in front of them? I mean, I blacked out. I blacked out. You know what I mean? And then she had a nerve to get across the street and hit the little girl. Right? Wait till she got all the way across the street and hit the little girl. For something that was your fault. You know what I mean? You want to hit the little girl for doing something that a kid would normally do. You know what I mean? Because you were being negligent. you gonna punish her for it. I don't understand, people. I really don't understand. And I know it ain't me. I know it ain't me. So if it ain't me, it gotta be you. You know what I mean? Some people don't have no business, have no kids. Man, I don't. I mean, I just see so much stuff that just, it seems like every time I turn around, I'm seeing something. You know what I mean? That just totally. And I keep just going back to this because that little girl was between the two cars, and she was about to, you know what I mean, step into freaking traffic. She probably didn't even know where the two women had went. She probably, I don't know what the heck, but she just, I don't know, man. I just, and I see this constantly. You see it constantly. When you go outside or whatever, and you can see the female or whatever, she got kids. 9 times out of 10, they're walking, she's going to be walking in front of the child. I mean, with a distance between them, whereas though if something happened, and whereas though she needed to be able to get to the child to protect them, you know what I mean? It would be a wreck because they be walking and it be, like I say, 2 car lengths. You know what I mean? 2 car lengths. If something happened, you can't even reach back and grab the child's arm. You know what I mean? Because they too far away. Oh my God! I swear, I'm just so blessed. I'm so blessed that I was born when I was born, and I was born part of a generation where the actual I get so pissed sometimes. I get so pissed sometimes because the more you try to say shit to people, now I'm cussing now, but the more you try to say things to people, and they can know that you're right, and they can know deep inside they know that you're right, but just for the sake of, you know what I mean? I just for the sake of, why? For the sake of just, for nothing, for the sake of nothing. Just go against the grain. You know what I mean? Just go against the grain. You understand what I'm saying? It don't be no sense in it. It don't make sense to do it, but we just got a lot of stuff we gotta fix. We got a lot of stuff we gotta be fixed as people. You know what I mean? And in order to do that, we gotta be able to humble. We gotta go back and humble ourselves. You know what I mean? And just take our freaking licks, man. We gotta be able to take our licks. You know what I mean? As far as our faults go. You know, if you can't admit to your own faults, then you can't grow. There's no way that you can grow before you listen. I mean, before you admit to your own faults, there is no way you can possibly grow as a person. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's all about growth. You know what I mean? Because if you don't grow, what happens? If you don't grow, you die. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. If you don't grow, you die. But I get so, and it's crazy how somebody halfway around the world can feel what you saying, you know what I mean? More so than people that grew up with you. Your basically half of your life, your whole life. Damn, that lotion I put on got my ass shining like a motherfucker. I know this light is kind of bright, but god damn. Like I wiped my face with freaking vegetable oil or something. Damn. Damn, what was that last daggone thing I said? You got me so heated. You know what? I spoke to my homie from halfway around the world, Johnny Legs, earlier. He tapped in. You know what I mean? And left a 4-page comment. Left a 4-page comment on one of the videos from his perspective or whatever. And I respected it. I respected it just for the simple fact that he had an opinion on it. You know what I mean? That he had an opinion on it. And he was, willing to share his opinion. And that's what my channel is set up for. I'm not going to tell you that you wrong for having an opinion. Whatever your opinion is, it's fine if you having an opinion. But if it's wrong, I might debate you on it. You know what I mean? I might debate you on it if I feel as though it's wrong and stuff that I actually may have experienced or seen for myself contradicts what you're saying, then yeah, I might debate you on it. But all the same, I'm going to respect your opinion. You know what I mean? I'm going to respect the fact that you actually have an opinion on something. You know what I mean? Because that's what basically my channel is based on. You know what I mean? Being able to think for yourself. You know what I mean? Instead of merely accepting everything that's been told to you. You understand? Because most problems can be fixed with mere common sense. You know what I mean? Most problems, like at least 5 out of 10 problems, can be fixed with mere common sense. Just with a person using a common sense. You know what I mean? But you'll have someone tell you that, oh, you have to go through these bunch of complicated steps in order to get to the solution. You know what I mean? Most of the answers to whatever it is you need an answer to, most times are just common sense. You know what I mean? But what has happened is common sense ain't all that common these days. You know what I mean? And that's something that you're supposed to be born with. You know what I mean? But what are you going to do? You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Do you sit back and you just keep taking what's been given to you, when a lot of times you know that it don't make sense to you? I mean, I'm going to just ask people this one thing that I want them to actually think about for the next freaking 24 hours. And all that is, when was the last time you had an original thought? When was the last time you had an original thought? One of your own. Something, not something that was brought about by something somebody else said or something somebody else did. Not an opinion. I didn't say an opinion. I said an original thought. A thought that was 100% yours. When the last time have you had an original thought? I'll wait. I'll wait. Matter of fact, I'll wait a whole 24 hours. I'll wait a whole freaking 24 hours. And a person, and anybody who actually get to see this today can answer the question tomorrow. Because most people can go a whole lifetime and not have an original thought. And have not one original thought. Their whole freaking lifetime. Their whole lifetime. And that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. That is textbook crazy. When you pay for every decision you only are going to pay for every decision that you make, but yet everything you do is based on something that you've been told by somebody else. That shit was deep, wasn't it? And you know what? Take that as homework. Take that as homework. Right? And I want anybody that see it, anybody that see this and heard the question, to think about it for the next 24 hours. And don't think about what the next person might think about what you say. But come in here and be honest. Be honest. Just tap in if you don't say nothing else but that one thing. Answer yes or no. Or answer what the thought was. Answer what your original thought was. When the last time you had one and what it was. And let's see if it was actually an original thought. See, I know I have them all the time. I have them all the time because I tend to question at least 50% of the stuff that I hear. You know what I mean? That pretty much 50% of the stuff that I'm told, I question. So I have original thoughts all the time. to the point where a lot of times people think I'm crazy because I like to think for myself. So let's see if y'all can think for yourself. When you tap in tomorrow, bring an original thought with you. You know why? I think you can do it. And you know why? Because great minds think alike. And everybody has greatness in them. You never know when somebody's going to come along and pull that greatness up out of you. So until tomorrow, don't forget, like, comment, definitely subscribe. Push that subscribe button, the bell, and press all for all notifications. And definitely share. It's your boy C Major. 2 in the air. Yay! I finally hit the button one time and the broadcast went off. He's getting good at